Call the meeting of July 27th, 2020 to order. If you'll please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Crano?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Kent?
Here.
All right. So, real quick introduction. First of all, those that are not in the room, but they are here tonight, they will be coming out one at a time. Representing our senior center will be Jessica Ricker, our Parks Department, our Park Supervisor Todd Schaefer, our Fire Chief Andy Frost, our Police Chief Bob Gavalier, our Zoning Inspector Darren Crivelli. Standing along the wall is our Township Administrator and our Road Superintendent Mike Dockery. To my immediate right is Trustee Ken Carano. To my immediate left is Trustee Steve Kent. And to my far left is our favorite fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. And I am Jim Davis, Trustee. So thank you all for being here. At this time, we'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 13th, 2020.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes. Okay, at this time, we'll have the administrator's report. Mike, anything for the administrator's report?
Jim, I have nothing under the administrator's report or road department. I don't know if you want me to comment on new business under A and B, or you want to call me, back at that time.
We can call on you at that time.
Okay.
We'll just go right in order. Mike, at this time, since you have no business for road and cemetery, you guys don't have anything for him as far as that's concerned? All right, would you do us,
It's fire.
well, Chief Gavalier is here, so if you want to send in the
Fire chief.
Fire chief, please. Chief Gavalier, anything to add to the police report?
No, I have nothing to add.
It sounds like we've made an arrest in the issue we had at Shots Bar with the
We
gentleman.
made one arrest, we have a warrant out for the other gentleman looking for him right now.
I know we had some people, I believe, also took a detective's sergeant test, or I should take that back. They've been in the detective bureau now for 6 months, so they've become promoted.
Yes, it referenced a policy after 6 months, they'll be promoted up to detective sergeants, but anytime prior to 6 months, if they're doing an excellent job and the lieutenant feels that they should be promoted, they can before the 6 month period.
Where do we stand with that?
Lieutenant Yakbone wrote me a letter to go ahead and promote him to detective sergeant. And they're doing a great job, both of them.
Great. And I do know, unfortunately, typically we have a big swearing in and.
Be honest with you, with that position, we never have.
Oh, okay.
Did that, it's just
Okay.
per the contract. So
Okay,
never
I was going to say, unfortunately, anyway, we can't in this environment anyway, but send our congratulations to them because I know it was well deserved. So. All right, Fire Department, Chief Frost.
I don't really have anything.
Nothing. How's everybody responding to the rules of COVID? Everybody's.
They're doing good.
Yeah.
They've, it's getting to that long time point, like everybody, where they're starting to. It's been a long time, and just getting edgy, and but they're all doing great. They understand it. They just can't wait for it to be over.
As many of us. All right. We appreciate it, Chief. Tell the guys and the girls over there, good job, and obviously stay safe.
Thank
All right. Would you mind sending in our zoning inspector, please?
You got it.
Thank you.
It's something for the fire people, because our firemen show up at all the medical situations in houses. It's more treacherous for them going there than it is to go in a fire.
Yeah?
Right.
All right. You can take the mask off so we can see your ugly face.
And Pittsburgh, you and,
There's nothing wrong with
I
that.
guess that's the only thing I like about there today.
there's three of you here. Oh my
We're
God.
ganging up on you.
I
Ken.
lost
my
someone,
God.
so.
Oh, you're really getting it.
He just got friends. He got friends today.
All right, Darren, anything to add to the report?
No.
Just a bunch of nuisances.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go ahead and read them for us?
I'd ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution under Ohio Revised Code 505.87 for the following properties. 2449 and 2455 Amberley, High Grass. 2473 Amberley, junk and debris. They had previously received a letter from me. 94 Benton Avenue, junk and debris. 4169 Crum Road and 4177 Crum Road, junk and debris. They had previously received a letter from me. 3924 Mahoning Avenue, 4740 Mahoning Avenue, 5202 Mahoning Avenue's high grass and weeds. A couple of them just right out the curb line of the double strip. 98 Marcia, high grass. 83 North of the Bar, high grass. 3946 New Road, and the dilapidated above ground pool that either needs to be repaired or removed. 5472 Northwest, high grass. 628 Notre Dame, high grass and junk and debris. 694 Notre Dame, high grass. 1741 South Raccoon Road, high grass. FYI, that's the former bowling alley. 1746 high grass. That's the building, or the former Kroger / Big Lot building. There's weeds growing up around the foundation and the light poles. 5074 East Rockwell, junk and debris. I sent them a letter. This has been a problem property over the last few years. 5697 Tulane, high grass. 5313 Willowcrest, high grass. 100 Woodley Court, high grass and weeds. This house has been vacant a number of years, and every now and then comes up to be a problem. And then 606 Yorktown Lane, high grass and weeds, junk and debris within the rear yards, and the house is being infested by raccoons. The previous boards of trustees have dealt with this property about 4 or 5 years. It's been vacant a number of years, hopefully one day it'll meet the demolition criteria. But unfortunately, the neighbors up there, they're pretty upset about it, so we'll do what we can once again to put a Band-Aid on the solution.
All right, motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Peck?
Yes.
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. And just for the record, when you hear Darren speak of, you've sent them a letter previously, a lot of these people, so that the public understands this, they've learned how to play the system.
Yeah.
They realize there is a process we have to go through, we have to follow it, and just because we send them a letter once before, we have to send them a second letter, because what they do is, once they receive the letter and they know they're at that drop-dead deadline, they cut the property. After they cut the property or do whatever it is to abate it, then they allow it to go for another couple of weeks. So they're not keeping their routine lawn maintenance like you or I or other good law-abiding citizens in our township are.
Normally, if a property is occupied and there's junk and debris, like I said, we'll send a letter. Now, if it's not occupied, we'll just go to nuisance, or if we think it needs to be cleaned up right away, we'll go to nuisance. If we think it's going to attract rats, we'll just clean it and come and ask you guys for forgiveness after the fact. But yeah, that's the process that we use. And then last, I have a request the board to approve a motion to find the following motor vehicles meet all of the following criteria: 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, extensively damaged, and order the removal of junk vehicles within 14 days under Ohio Revised Code 5.871. 4151 Westmont Drive, an inoperable Concord with expired license plate GWC 7250 from August 2017, parked in an exposed manner at the property. And then there's could potentially be 2 more. 4189 Crum Road. It looks like a skeleton of the vehicle. I asked Eric to see if he can kind of determine the make and model of it, and we'll give a little more description in the motion. And then there's one on Bay Bridge. No, let me take that back. No, I think that one was cleared up. So potentially one on Crum and the one I just read.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Peck?
Yes.
Anything else for Darren? All right,
I
would you
just want to, once again, remind the residents, there's vendors out there knocking on doors representing the fact that they can sign you up for lower utility bills. Remember, you're automatically in the aggregate, so if you choose to leave the aggregate, that's your choice. Do what you think's in your best interest, but make sure you know the facts, make sure you know what you're paying, and understand these people do not represent the township. We do give them a transient vendor permit, but they are not representing us. So, just use good caution, and if you want to exit the aggregate, that's your call, but make sure you know all the facts.
May I add to that? Keep in mind also that last week I got 3 letters from 3 different people, 3 different companies. The fact of the matter is, if you're comfortable with whatever you are right now, the chances are you don't need to move. But you could call them, do what you want, but my recommendation to you is, if you're happy where you are, stay there.
Okay, would you please send in our park supervisor? You know what you were doing 2 years ago? Jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
I was there when I made it. A
Is
couple
that
years,
About another, how many years?
2 years.
2 years, all right. Maybe,
You'll be ready.
maybe. All right, Todd, anything to add to the report? All right. We have a motion to increase park pavilion rental fees as noted. The Stacy Pavilion, we will be raising it for non-residents. The fee will be raised to $400 per day. And the Pogany Pavilion, residents to $125, non-residents to $200 for a full day. The Fireman, Kiwanis, Schnurberger, and Furman Pavilions, residents to $100 per day, non-residents to $175 for a full day. These prices to go in effect on August 1st, 2020. Any need for further discussion by the board? All right, a motion to make those changes?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes?
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Okay. How's everything else going? Splash pads should be getting used quite a bit with the heat last week.
Yeah, it's taken a beating the last couple of weeks.
I've seen a lot of pictures posted on Facebook. The good thing I've noticed in those pictures, it seems like people are distancing themselves for being young little kids.
People are still doing very, very good at the park.
If we could get the little kids to teach their parents to social distance, we'd really be good.
Right.
Did you
It would make Chief Cavalier's life a lot easier.
Did you get the paint off?
Oh, yes, off the band show.
You're getting good at that.
A lot of experience, unfortunately.
Who do we got out there tomorrow?
Chris Higby,
Yeah,
What time's that?
7 o'clock.
I was going to mention that later on, but since it was brought up, but we have a special treat for everybody tomorrow night. We've been fortunate. I've got a good friend by the name of Chris Higby, and because his concert tour is canceled for a good majority of this year, and he just happened to be available, so he's going to bring his guitar player out with him and bring his fiddle, and he might bring one of the kids with him to play as well, but we're going to be treated to an acoustic show by Chris Higby tomorrow night at our township park. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your face masks. We ask that you wear your face mask till you get seated, and you can remove your face mask. By all means, bring a cooler of non-alcoholic beverages and enjoy some country music and Chris on the fiddle from 7 to 8:30.
There is a lot of room in that park. What is it, 4 acres in front of the
In front
park?
of the band show?
Yeah,
There's a little over 3 acres
a
in front of the
little over
band
3
show.
acres
So we have plenty of room for everybody.
for everybody.
Come on out tomorrow night. We hope to see everybody there, and bring the kids. The splash pad will be in operation till dusk, and our farmers market's been going on, and Shannon has done a great job with that as well. So I get a chance to exchange some texts with her every once in a while, but also thank her for us as well. I know she's gone through a lot to change things as far as having it from a drive-through market to a semi-walk-up market to a full walk-up market, and still they're offering carry-out and everything there. So
Yeah, she's doing a great job. Imagine she's got the night off tonight.
Great.
She's done a great job with that, Mark.
All right, well, thank you very much, Todd. If you would you send in Jessica from the senior center, please?
Sure.
Yeah, Fred Moran from Window World has you beat. He was 85 years old last year at the Canfield Fair when he jumped out.
That was something.
And jumped into the fairgrounds. I told him maybe he should have threw one of his windows out of that plane.
Land on the window, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be-
And not only do we stand behind our windows, we throw them out of planes.
That was a weird conversation to walk in.
Well, it was 2 years ago that Eric and I jumped out of a plane, and he says he wants to do it again at age 80, which is in another 2 years. And so I told him, Fred Moran, though, from Window World, has him beat. He jumped into the Canfield Fair last year to open the Canfield Fair at age 85.
Hey, that's what the senior center could do, line up, a lot of jumpers.
And I'll be the one that's taking the pictures on the ground.
We did that. Eric was the only one that passed the physical.
There's a bunch of
I couldn't let him go alone, like a crazy nut.
The kneeling on the ground was the hard part for a lot
Yes.
of them.
Yes. All right, so tell us, what's going on with the senior center? We're still making the phone calls to the,
Yep, the big thing this week is Clayton did come in and they did install the UV lights up in the HVAC system. So that was the huge thing that we were waiting to get installed. So now that will be cleaning the air whenever the HVAC system's on, either heat or air conditioning. It'll be scrubbing the air and getting rid of mold, virus, bacteria, dander, all that good stuff, pollen. So not only will it be better for viruses and bacteria, but it will also be good for anybody that's got allergies or anything like that. And the rest of the stuff is in. The only thing we're waiting on is going to be that thermal scanner that will, when everybody comes in that main door, it'll check all the temperatures, and if they've got a temperature over the limit, it'll turn red and a little alarm will go off. So they won't be able to be in the center if they've got a fever. And that's the only thing we're waiting on. Everything else is ready and set up. And
Did you hear anything from the governor's office at all?
we had 3 webinars with the Ohio Department of Aging where they were talking about opening procedures and all of that. The holdup was they were putting senior centers in with adult daycares, and they're 2 very different things. And I think we finally got the Ohio Department of Aging to recognize that they're 2 separate entities. The people we cater to are very different. I can understand an adult daycare not wanting people in there in close proximity, but senior centers are more of like an activity center. And so I think they understand that now, and they'll take that back to the governor, and we should see some movement pretty soon. There's another webinar next week on more guidelines, but it pretty much seems like if you serve food, you're going to have to do restaurant guidelines. If you're doing exercise classes, you're going to have to follow gym protocol, and that. So whatever you're doing, you'll have to, follow the certain protocol for that specific class. And like I said before, we're not going to have any of the classes that are going to have communal property until we figure out how to sterilize those between people's uses. And limiting the amount of people that are in each room. But the center's huge, so we've got a lot of room to spread out between those 3 rooms, so we shouldn't have any problems keeping, everybody, 6 or 10 feet apart with how many people we usually have in each room. The 2 big things are bingo and yoga that we're going to have to probably break into 2 sessions, so that way we can limit the amount of people that are showing up for those. But hopefully the governor, I think, they were saying August 1st we would know more information about it. I'm hoping that'll be a tentative opening time when they'll let us know, but they said they'll have more information for us on August 1st. So fingers crossed.
well, we
I know all
appreciate-
the seniors I'm talking to are like,
Oh,
when
I
are
bet.
you opening?
I get phone calls constantly,
Yeah,
and I have to keep telling them, it's not us.
I know. And
It's
they're
the
like,
governor.
why are you opening yet? And I'm like, it's not my decision.
That's right.
Just kind of gotta wait.
The other thing, I guess, if the public is not aware, we should mention is that we talked about these things we're purchasing for the center, and of course, we've had some different things where in the different departments where we've had to expend some overtime, or even the use of the center at one time was being used to house our fire department, and a lot of those expenses were incurred by the township initially, but we received a grant through the CARES Act, and we have filed all the proper paperwork and hope to have all that money reimbursed to the township. So these different things that we're doing, this is really a great time to do it, because the different things you and Jim have looked into to make sure we've got done over there, because it's essentially at no expense to the township because we're being reimbursed for it. And in the end, we're protecting our residents, so that's a good thing.
Yep, I know, I got that paperwork in like the day the email got out. I'm like, here's all my receipts.
Well, we appreciate what you've done, so thank you very much. All right,
Thank you.
Thanks.
all right. Our favorite fiscal officer. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. You've been busy.
Yep, yep. We did start getting our second half advances, so I'm anxious to see how that's gonna turn out. And that's really what I have right now.
Well, you did provide us some reports, and we got a chance to look at those, so we need a motion to approve the December report.
December.
My goodness, this month is not going that fast.
Right. Something that-
June.
The June reports submitted to the board at the July 13th, 2020 meeting. That is for the fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So move?
And seconded?
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. All right. Mike is back out here as we move into new business. So we're going to ask for a motion to authorize effective July 15, 2020, the Mahoney County Prosecutor's Office to execute and file any and all necessary documents related to participating in the consolidated claim authorization process pertaining to the pending bankruptcy of Purdue Pharma. Mike?
They're asking all their local government clients to do this. You know, I don't know, they don't know. There may be money down the road because of the opiate crisis that local governments may be receive a payout for, so that's the basis for this.
Okay. A motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
All right.
B's just kind of straightforward. I just really wanted to explain A.
Okay. B, a motion to increase cemetery appropriations to $74,000.
So move?
Second?
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
All right. Camera's rolling. This is a big exciting news of the night, huh? It's raining like heck, and they want to put booze in the theater at Austintown. All right. So we have a unique situation before us here, not so unique that we haven't done it in the past, but this is whether to approve an economic development transfer, known as a TREX permit, to Golden Star Theater, Austintown Incorporated, 6020 Mahoning Avenue, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, 44511, from N.J. Morgan Enterprises Estate, Holly M. Hone, permit number 6277266, permit classes D5 and D6. With that,
Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Before we take a vote on it, you are very familiar with this. Why
I-
don't you give us the...
So, to explain to the public what this is, first of all, there are many liquor licenses in Austintown Township. However, there are none that are available. They're all currently being used or in safekeeping. So with that being said, in order to get a liquor license in the township, there is a way that you can do it, and that is by obviously making a substantial investment in our community. And you can apply for this, and this allows you to transfer a liquor license from another community. And so the Golden Star Theater, those folks have been doing a phenomenal job over there, and they have an investment in this project of $2.5 million. There is also a stipulation with that you have to provide to us the amount of, with this economic development of how many jobs you will create. And they are going to be creating 30 jobs. So this board has the opportunity to grant them that opportunity to transfer a liquor license. When we're thinking about Austintown not having a theater and when the one closed, I can tell you that we all received phone calls of their dissatisfaction in the fact that there wouldn't be a theater in Austintown. Many people like to come here, and also there were many people there that lost their jobs. So this is an opportunity for them, and I know that this theater and these folks have been doing a good job of wanting to retain some of those people and bring them back, and they've gotten applications from them. And not to mention the people, Frank Moses, his brother Ed, who operates V2 downtown. They're a great family. So they applied for this license, and this is our opportunity to try to help them and help the Austintown community regain a theater. And I can tell you from what we've seen just in pictures, I'm looking forward to going over and actually taking a tour of the facility. This is going to be, they keep telling me it's going to be better than Tinseltown. And anybody that tells me we're going to have something better than Boardman, I'm okay with it. So I'm really excited about this project. And once again, it's an opportunity where there's a $2.5 million investment in our community and 30 new jobs being provided. So
those of us that are senior citizens have gone through the theater system. From when we were kids, it was every week you would go to the theater and that sort of thing. But now, how great it sounds, where you could sit down, have a drink, watch the movie, and you talk about adult entertainment and so on. I think that's tremendous.
Well, and not to mention the seat that you get to sit in while
Yes.
you're there, you get to put your feet up in a leather recliner. So that's my kind of movie theater.
Right. It's like
If I wake up, I'll watch the movie, no problem.
Right? Yeah. You go there, you have a drink, you fall asleep, and then you wake up in time to go home, and you got to catch it on Netflix when it comes out a couple months later. All right, so if there is no objection by the board, I'd ask for a motion to approve the Trex permit.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. All right. With that being said, we will move on to public response. We have on camera and off camera. Does anyone wants to speak off camera? Anyone that wants to speak on camera? Eric. Eric, we just need your name and address for the record, please.
Eric Luke, 5741 Northwest Boulevard. Can I take this off?
Yeah, you can take it off now that you're in here and social
I just
distance.
noticed in the news, there's a lot of Black Lives Matter. And I got the thing, I've been watching it the last couple of months. And I had some personal experiences in the mill. Go back to high school. I seen it in high school with our dances. We had the blacks on one side and the whites on the other for the dance, the sock hops. And when you used to take your shoes off, dance with your socks on. I went in the Army in 1959. I pulled in Louisville bus station. We had colored restrooms. The blacks weren't allowed to eat with us. This is America. My great friends were Puerto Rican in the service. It was down in Louisville. We decided we'd go to the movie. Went to the movie, they took my money. They wouldn't take his. I said, why not? He's too dark. They wouldn't let me in the movie. I went in the mill, got promotions. I became a locomotive crane operator. We didn't have any blacks as crane operators. We got one in as Clifford Hickson. And I was a grievance committeeman. They wouldn't give, some guys had 2 to 3 lockers. They wouldn't give up their lockers for the black guy. I got Clifford a locker, and it worked out for him. I worked at Panther Run, the same thing down there. They wouldn't promote him like they should have. I had a black friend who would go back down south for a vacation. He told me when he got down to North Carolina, he knew that he had to watch his step because he wasn't in Youngstown, he's in North Carolina. So he pulled up to a gas station and he asked the gas station, sir, what you want? Can you tell me where the black folks hang out here? You see that big oak tree over there? They used to hang on that one. We moved it to the other end of town. So and today, we have an icon, Congressman John Lewis. I remember 65 Monday, Sunday, but he almost killed a man. He's passed away now and he's fought for righteous Martin Luther King. But this is real. This is America. Everybody should be treated the same way. Regardless of your color of skin, what you believe in, whether you're Italian, Polak. I worked at the Youngstown Country Club back in the day, and they didn't want anybody that went English or Irish. But now they'll take anybody, because now they're broke. But now, my point is, we should take a moment here, maybe bow our heads for a second, and see John Lewis. He's an icon. And I think we should pay the respects here in Austintown to him, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say, but we can make a difference as an individual. I'm 77, I'm on the way out, but I'll still try to make a difference. Everybody here, I'm only saying this tonight because I know a lot of people didn't grow up in the area that I did. I remember the East Side, they had riots. It's not right to treat somebody wrong in America. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Seeing no others in attendance, we'll move on to remarks from the board members. Lori, anything else you want to add?
I don't have anything else to add tonight.
Trustee Kent?
I just want to congratulate Coach Parker over at the Falcons. They had their 21st annual golf outing last weekend. It turned out with 34 groups. Barry Dingles supplied the food afterwards, which was phenomenal. Panera supplied the breakfast for us. It was outstanding. It was a great job done by all. So.
Trustee Carano?
Thank you. I have just two things. One, I really admire when people see something and they don't like it and they, in a sense, call back and do something. I was in the paper talking about the absolute need for masks, and this is prior to the requirement to have it. And a gentleman in Austintown who disagrees with me sent me a pamphlet that is from a company that is talking about different of opinions. And I admire that. I'm not threatened by somebody disagreeing with me. But the only thing I say is watch yourself. I'm a debate coach. I've had some success and I'm in a Hall of Fame. The one thing I teach people about, when you listen to something, investigate it. When somebody says that this study said this, if they don't tell you what the study is, then don't believe it. If they tell you what the study is, investigate the study. When people try to make money sending out notices for a different opinion, those people are doing it precisely for that reason. Check their standings. The doctor that they made the recommendation here about be careful about the masks, I investigated him and he's in a different field. When people within the field tell you that it is an absolute necessity, I think you should have to worry about that. But I thank the gentleman for sending me the material. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of you so I can sit down and have a discussion with you over a cup of coffee, but don't ever be afraid. The last thing I want to say is this. I am so proud. I've been in Austintown since 1967. I am so proud of each of our departments. We should be so proud of them. The police, the fire, the park, the senior center, everything that, even Darren. But the thing is that they do their job. It is not a pleasant task at times, but it is being so nice in the last few months. We're getting great response from people thanking us for our police, our fire, and everybody else that's doing their job. So I congratulate them and I thank the people for sending us. We get a lot of negative stuff. It's nice to get a lot of positive stuff too.
All right, thank you, Ken. I just quickly want to congratulate Bruce Shepis, Harold Porter, on their business venture. They opened Bin Depot, which opened this past weekend. Unfortunately, I was out of town and didn't get to attend the grand opening, but it is a new venture in the Wedgwood Plaza. It's good to see those. They have an opportunity to open a business. They have a business already in our community. As many of you know, Bruce has run for trustee. Harold is on the Board of Education, but they continue to be a part and be active in our community, and they continue to invest in our community. And they had a great opening. I saw a lot of nice things that they were selling down there. If you're not familiar with the concept, stop down, check it out. Each day the price goes down up until it's 50 cents on the last day, and then on Saturday mornings they bring in a whole new row of stuff to sell. I actually called Bruce tonight to talk about a different subject, and I told him I was mad because I needed a new Keurig, and my Keurig bit the dust, and he said, well, you should have been here first thing Saturday morning. The Keurigs were here and they went fast, so I guess I'm going to have to start paying attention and get up there early on a Saturday morning, and maybe I can buy a Keurig for $10, because that seems like a heck of a deal. I saw people, pictures on Facebook, people were carrying out bicycles, televisions, and someone else bought a laptop for $10. It's a heck of a deal. So congratulations to those guys. As I mentioned, I did get a chance to talk to Bruce. We did have some discussions about the upcoming events in September. We as a board will also be discussing that because it does require our police and fire, and it does take township resources to put those events on. So we are going to have to be actively discussing that as well. However, as it looks by what's coming just even from the governor's office, though, those events may be once again postponed. But we are working. I know a lot of people have been asking what's going on with the parade, how do we become a part of the parade, what's going on with the fireworks. They're excited. They want entertainment to go see. We get it, but just please be patient. I will tell you, however, we did receive notice. We mentioned about doing this all as part of the September 10th, 11th, 12th events. September 10th being Patriots Day, Quaker Steak and Lube. And Ken Jakubec did send a message to our board informing us that they are going to forego the 2020 Patriots Day. They will not be having that event at Quaker Steak and Lube. One, from a corporate standpoint, their corporation is not, they're not having bike nights, car cruises, and different things of that nature. And not to mention the veterans that they would be honoring that evening, being elderly as they are in a more compromised situation, and they don't want to put all of them together with the propensity of the virus to elderly people. So for their safety, they're going to forego the 2020 Patriots Day. So that does scratch September 10th from our list of events. We will know more information about our 9/11 memorial as we talk to Pat Conley. And then, of course, like I said, we'll get information out to you as soon as we know what we're going to do for the fireworks and parade. So with that being said, that's all I have for today. So at this time, we do have some executive session business to go over. So we will ask for a motion to recess to executive session for the following. To consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees, and for preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.